English is awkward. Awkward. Why is there or in awkward? An A and a W. We have or, and or. We even throw a U into the mix with poor. So why AW? English is awkward. C, and C. These all mean different things, yet sound identical. Then there's there, and there, and to, and to. Do we really need all these different spellings? Is this a heavy metal, or do you walk a dog with it? Context tells us this is read, not read. We're okay with having different spellings for words that sound the same, yet we can't come up with different spellings for a different pronunciation. How does that make sense? KNICKKNACK has 10 letters, of which we only pronounce 6. GNOME is doing better with 4 out of 5, but what is that G doing there? Talking of oddly placed Gs, let's talk about OUGH. There's no hint of a G sound in dough, or thought, or through, or thorough, but it also makes an appearance in cough, where it's playing the role of an F. Talking of Fs, fish. We've already established that the GH in cough is pronounced like F. The O in women has the same vowel sound as the I in fish, and the TI in nation is a sh sound. F-I-sh. Fish. I boil the kettle. I boiled the kettle. That's a fairly simple way to change the tense of a verb. Just add an ed to boil and now it's past tense. Simple. Achieve, achieved. Okay, the E was already there, so you just add a D. Still makes sense. Bury and buried. We're getting a little carried away here, changing Y's to I's, but at least it sounds right. I drive, I drove, I was driven. This is just getting silly. Eat, ate, eaten. Why? This is a cow. These are cows. This is a sheep. These are not sheeps. This is a rat. These are rats. This is a mouse. These are mice. These are mouses, sometimes. This is a plastic, narrow, long brush. Wait, that doesn't sound right. This is a long, narrow plastic brush. That sounds right, and as a native English speaker, I intuitively know that that is the correct order of adjectives, but for someone learning the language, it's just madness. If you're a native speaker, you'll already know it intuitively too, but in case you're interested, the correct order of adjectives is opinion, size, physical quality, shape, age, colour, origin, material, type, and then purpose. If you mix up the order, your sentence sounds clunky and disjointed, even though it conveys the exact same information. I'm English, so I use British English, and I pronounce and spell words a little differently to an American or an Australian or a Canadian. This means that the first example, with the awkward ors, doesn't work in American English. It's more awkward than awkward, which is awkward. For us Brits, there's a U in colour, but our American cousins make do without one, and they seem to be doing just fine. Well, at least in terms of language. Apologise becomes apologise, license becomes license, and travelled becomes travelled. And this simplification makes sense because, well, it's simpler and nothing seems to be lost in the process. English isn't unique in its awkwardness, and there is usually some historical linguistic basis for the quirks. But for the sake of simplicity and cohesion, perhaps it might be time for a bit of a tidy up. If you're interested in the historical reasoning behind these linguistic quirks, I have a short video exploring a few of them. You can find it here or down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe. You might also like my podcast. You can find links to it down below or just search for the Media Ward Podcast.